It is time. This is the moment we've been waiting for. Snappy's gonna go into the brand new ecosystem pond. He's actually smiling at me right now. Look at that. Hey, what's up everybody? Ed the Pond Professor here. We are back with Snappy and Bill, and it is actually time to put him into this new habitat. So let's go check this out. But don't do this at home because he is definitely not a common snapping turtle, because there's no way I would be doing this, especially after we just returned from that incredible trip down in Arkansas with those massive alligator snapping turtles. I wouldn't even want my head being this close because it would tear my entire head off.
No touchy. No touch.
No one would want to see that, especially me. Look at him. He's actually smiling at me right now. Look at that.
Happy boy, aren't you? Yeah.
So Snappy is a common snapping turtle. So they're found all over the eastern half of the United States, from the border of Canada all the way down to Florida and as far west as the Rocky Mountains. They're gonna live in a wide variety of aquatic habitats. They're gonna live in streams and lakes and ponds and sloughs, and actually even some situations in estuaries, which are brackish water. So a highly diverse animal. They're actually omnivorous, even though when you look at them, you're gonna say, wow, this guy is a carnivore. They're gonna eat all types of fish, crustaceans, but they honestly eat a lot of vegetation in the wild as well because it's common for their habitat. So they're going to be searching around inside these aquatic habitats looking for food. But again, the unique thing about reptiles like this, Snappy right now is still at that edge of brumation. So he's just starting to get active. He has not started feeding yet, correct? You have not started feeding him.
No.
So what's the temperature that you look for when starting to feed him?
Usually right at 50 degrees. When it starts cooling down, it gets right to 50 and you put food right in front of his face and he just goes like that. He
Does not want it. But that's actually their secret to survival. So they can go for many, many months, especially up here in the northern climates. So we're the northern edge of Indiana, and they can go for many months living under the ice, barely moving, still alive, still breathing, but not having a lot of actual activity. And that's because they're kind of in a state of suspended animation, so they cannot assimilate food. That actually is the secret to their success, because mammals like us, we have to eat a lot because of our biological processes, but those processes actually have waste products, and it actually breaks down cell walls over time, which is slowly what causes an aging process. But they've kind of cracked that secret to success, and they can go for many, many months, which is just unbelievable. And you can see he's starting to get really active right now because we're right at that about 50-degree mark right now. Water temperature, same thing. You can definitely see he's getting super, super active here, sitting in Bill's lap, which is pretty cool. On his face, he's really smiling.
grandson was just a little guy. He must have been, I don't even think he was 4 years old because of the preschool thing. And he said, the teacher asked me a question and I started to answer, and he said, "Papa, I'll do the talking, all of it." So he gets up there in front of the class and he's just going on and putting his hands out and telling them all these stories about Snappy. And even got done, he went down and did a roll over forward and stood up. Ta-da! So we took him to a lot of schools, and we've had a lot of fun with him. Everybody just loves to see him.
Well, what I love about that, I mean, having your grandson, having your family grow up with this incredible animal, I mean, this is exactly what we talk about with all of our water features. You have an incredible appreciation and understanding of nature.
Yeah.
And that's what I really love about it. And it's protecting these guys for future generations.
Yeah.
And when you can connect like this with them, it's like it's a whole different meaning. It's a whole different feeling for it. Yeah. And of course you want to protect them and save them for, you know, for 1,000 more years.
150, dude, and still young.
They've been around forever, and we want them to stay like that, which is really incredible. And all the time and effort you've put in, not only creating this incredible habitat here for them, but you take them to schools and take them to shows and everything where you could show everybody about it.
He'll have hundreds of people hold him on their laps and pet him and play with him. Little kids sit on his back, and he just doesn't care. Big dogs lick his face. He just, nothing seems to bother him at all.
He's a great ambassador for all animal species. This is it, right here. Through this entire project. Now remember, we have done multiple projects for all different types of turtles, including fly river turtles, common snapping turtles, alligator snapping turtles, tortoises, all types of really cool things. Dr. Pritchard, Greg Brashears, Camp Kennan, incredible stuff, and I love getting involved with these because of these amazing animals and the connection that we have to them. Not only myself as a young boy out there catching and finding turtles in the wild, also Greg, Wichita the Pond guy himself. He started the entire business of Aquascape by building a turtle habitat. He was moving his turtles from New Jersey to Illinois, and that's actually what started out the entire business of Aquascape and designing and building decorative water features and backyards around the world now, which is just incredible to see. Let's check this one out. All right, so check this out. Everything has been operational now for almost a month. Water clarity, water quality, everything has been dialed in. Everything is looking great. What I want to point out is a few of these details. I think these are really important when we start talking about ecosystem design and construction. I just saw some of this stuff when we were down in the swamps down in southern Arkansas. So looking at these trees, the cypress stumps and logs and cedars and things like that that are growing inside the water, and it creates all the biodiversity that we're looking for. So a few things I want to point out. We have the stumps right over here, which are very dominant. We have this sand on the bottom, which is mimicking that habitat. So this is the perfect habitat for the common snapping turtles, as well as alligator snappers, where they can burrow themselves down into that material, and it's all a living substrate. So right now there's probably not a lot of stuff living in there because this is brand new, but over time this substrate is going to become teeming with life. There's going to be all types of little microorganisms living in and around that substrate, as well as all the rock and gravel. So I love having a mixture of different things: the sand, the boulders, the river rock, the stumps, the logs, the waterfalls. All these different pieces are very important from an aesthetic standpoint as well as functional. The other thing that we have over here, look at this big giant log coming in over in this section. That's going to be the perfect spot for Snappy to disappear and go underneath that spot because they love hiding. So they're a pretty secretive animal. So by recreating some of those little spots for them, I think that's very important. It's going to be dark, it's going to be shaded. That's going to give them a sense of safety, which is what they're looking for in their natural environment, especially if they're not going to be searching or actively feeding. Here is that drainage system that we put in. Remember, we did the test on that, so that makes it very easy for Bill to do some of the maintenance. We're gonna open up your door here. Just take this out, downgrade over here, and all we gotta do is open this valve, and this is gonna siphon all the stuff out of the bottom of that filter bed. That's it. With this system, 3 times a year maximum, even with your snapping turtle. Oh, that's amazing. So whenever I'm designing and building, I'm always thinking about not only the aesthetic standpoints, but also how they're going to be able to maintain it for many years. Because when we build this, we want to make sure they have lots of success with this for years to come. I love the overall look of everything here. I think it turned out just absolutely perfect. Well, it is time. This is the moment we've been waiting for. Snappy's gonna go into the brand new ecosystem pond. Let's go see how he likes it. Into the new pond. Oh, that water's a little cold, but it's actually perfect right now. Early spring. So awesome. I love it. It's exactly what I do. Designing and building naturalistic water features, not only for people, but for incredible animals, just like Snappy.